How's it going, everybody? This is going to be a quick little video update on the Rhode v. Becerra case, also known as California's ammo ban case. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump in this video, if you think that California's laws regulating ammunition violate the Second Amendment, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I also wanted to give a shout out to a couple of the main sponsors of the channel, the first being Thorson Custom and the other being Got Your Six. These two companies do a lot to support this channel, and what I do wouldn't be possible without them. So I highly recommend that you guys go take a look at both of them. Thorson sells California compliant parts and features, and Got Your Six has a firearm-centric app that you can actually get on your phone. So take a look at both of them, and I'll put links to both of them down in the details section. So as a quick recap of Rhode v. Becerra, a lot of you in the state of California are familiar with this, but sometimes people come to my videos new. Rhode v. Becerra deals with California's laws and regulations surrounding ammunition sales, primarily requiring that ammunition sales go through FFLs, and mainly what this case deals with is the various laws that were instituted by the state of California requiring individuals go through background checks or eligibility checks to actually purchase ammunition. One of them being the basic eligibility check and the other being a standard eligibility check. And so this case was sought to actually get rid of those ammunition regulations in the state of California. It was originally heard by Judge Benitez in the Southern District of California. He granted a motion for preliminary injunction. And then that motion for preliminary injunction was appealed by the state of California. There was an emergency stay instituted by the Ninth Circuit. And then this case was heard by a 3-judge panel on November 9th, 2020, so just last month. And if you'd be interested in what happened during those oral arguments, I actually have a video up on my channel. You can click this tab right here and it'll take you to my breakdown of those oral arguments. But if you already watched my video breakdown of those oral arguments, you would know that we talked a bit about how the 3 judges had a lot of concerns and questions around the distinction of basic eligibility checks and the standard eligibility check, as well as the constitutionality of both. And at multiple points in those oral arguments, various of those 3 judges actually asked both sides about, well, what if we actually ruled that the standard eligibility check is unconstitutional? Then what do we do with the basic eligibility check? Would the basic eligibility check be constitutional? Now, if you're not familiar with basic eligibility check is and what standard eligibility check is in the state of California, the standard eligibility check is a $1 fee, and it is the state of California's alleged streamlined process for individuals to have their background checked and actually be able to purchase ammunition faster. So that was the whole thought process behind the standard eligibility check. It was the state of California's way to have a streamlined process. The basic eligibility check is something completely different, to where if you're not in the California AFS system, you have to go through the basic eligibility check. You pay a higher fee, being a $19 fee. Your background check is run, and then there is an additional waiting period attached to that. I believe is a 10-day waiting period. And so during oral arguments, there was a lot of discussion about the standard eligibility check being unconstitutional, that people who should have passed the standard eligibility check, they weren't prohibited people, anything like that. They actually failed that standard eligibility check, were turned away, and there was a lot of data to support that. But the question became, during oral arguments, and questions were asked, well, okay, if we say that the standard eligibility check and the way it's implemented by the state of California does violate the Second Amendment in the Constitution, what about the basic eligibility check? Well, now it appears that the answers that maybe both sides, or maybe even our side, gave the 3-judge panel was not enough, and that the court, the 3-judge panel here in the Ninth Circuit, was not satisfied with those answers. And as of November 16, 2020, Judge Parker, and if you're familiar with our discussion about this Rhode case, Judge Parker is a Second Circuit judge out of New York who was substituting in here in the Ninth Circuit for this 3-judge panel. And he was very critical of our representative, the representative for our Second Amendment rights. At some points, he was very snippy at her and was kind of going back and forth with her. But anyways, Judge Parker has actually now requested supplemental briefs on the issue of the constitutionality of the basic eligibility check, essentially wanting both sides to address whether or not the basic eligibility check is indeed unconstitutional, or is it constitutional, and what effect would that have on this case. This harkens back to a lot of the discussion that happened at the 3-judge panel oral argument about, well, what if the 3-judge panel here finds that the standard eligibility check is unconstitutional? What do they do with the basic eligibility check? Is that unconstitutional? Is it not? And what happens if they sever these two systems from one another? Can one stand without the other? Can these basic eligibility checks still be implemented without the standard eligibility check? So it appears that even more so after my initial reaction about, I didn't think Judge Parker was leaning heavily in our side. I think he was very critical of our representative. I think he was very snippy of our representative. But even more so now with Judge Parker requesting additional information and supplemental briefs on this issue of whether the basic eligibility check is constitutional or not, I think that indicates even more so that he may not be leaning in our favor, and it is very likely that this motion for preliminary injunction that was granted by Judge Benitez will be actually shot down 2-1 in favor of the state of California. But that's just my guess based on kind of reading the tea leaves here. And if you guys have any thoughts on this, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this. Is Judge Parker in our favor based on watching the oral arguments, based on these additional requests by Judge Parker? What are your impressions of him and where do you think he's going to lean? So if you guys like this video and you'd like to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell because that helps the channel analytics, helps us spread the word about the Second Amendment, also spread the word about things like this that are going on in the state of California. Also, if you guys would like to support actions which are actually seeking to get rid of these various California infringements that we have, I highly recommend you guys donate to FBC. Now, full disclaimer, I am now an attorney with FBC, so just understand that is my affiliation with FBC. That's why I'm recommending them, but mainly because I see what they're doing. I know what we're doing. I know the cases that we're filing, and I know that we're being very aggressive in trying to get rid of all these California infringements. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link down below to FBC so you can donate to us, give us more ammunition so we can go and attack the state of California and get rid of these laws. So as always, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and never forget this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.